A very good morning to all my dear students. Today we are just going to start our new lesson from our literature portion, that is Landscape of the Soul, which is written by Nathalie Troverol. She is a female author and she is known as an art historian who came in limelight because of her translated work. The name of that particular work was City of Dizziness. So here, this very book is known as a book by William. You can say Dalrymple. So, being a translator, our author Nathaniel Troveroy got her fame. After that, she is considered to be, or you can say in a literary manner, she is the wife of Belgian ambassador to India. So, she has traveled various cities of the world with her husband. She holds a master's degree in history of art and archaeology from University of Belgium. She planned to write her next book on old Delhi architecture like Jama Masjid and Chandni Chowk. Actually, before reading this very kind of lesson, that is the landscape of soul, we are just going to, you can say, discuss about a particular trait of this writer, which she has just indulged in all her writing. For example, she usually admired the architecture of buildings as well as the painting structures as well as the textures of all these, you can say, things. For example, in our Landscape of the Soul, we will confine only two of the stories in which we can hold up with the two basic storyline of a painters. So how the what here we will come to know the difference between the Western paintings as well as the Asian paintings. So in Asian we will take an example from the China's painting sculptures, and after that we are just going to read about a story which has just you can say refers to the Western one. Now let's start with the introduction of this writer as well as our Landscape of Soul. As we have just read it out about the author, now let's move towards the next slide. Here our lesson started. Here our Thales says 18th century painter Wu Daoji. It means this is our first story in which the main character is Wu Daoji, was asked by the Tang Emperor Zhuangzong. So here Tang is a kind of province where we have a Zhuangzong Emperor to paint a landscape to decorate a palace wall. It means he has just ordered Wu Daozi, who was a well-known painter in 8th century, just to decorate a palace wall. He just asked to paint a landscape. Here, what do you mean by the landscape? Landscape is a kind of thing in which you will found a one view scenery, right? So one view scenery will be known as landscape. The mastermind hid his work behind a screen. Yes, our Wu Daozi has just prepared that particular landscape to decorate the palace wall, but he had just hid his work or the particular landscape behind a screen. It means behind a curtain. Only the emperor could see it. Okay, now the condition is that our emperor could see it, but no one else. The emperor admires the wonderful scene. It means I just told you that you can say one scenery was there. So if you can say, then there will be a mountain, waterfall, clouds, enormous sky, so men on hilly paths and birds in flights. So this is all about the landscape which was just made by our Wu Daozi in the 8th century. So here our emperor admired means a particular person who is not belong to the painter family, or the who is not painter, that outer person will admire the outer qualities of that particular thing. So here our emperor admires the wonderful scene. He discover forest, high mountains, and all these things. So this is a fantastic, you can say, the painting of Wu Daozi. After that, the painter asked the king respectfully to look in the cave at the foot of the mountain. It means in the landscape, in the painting of this particular landscape, there is a mountain, and on the front of the mountain there is a cave. So he just asked the king respectfully to look into a cave, and he said a spirit lived there. It means there is a kind of spirit has been used to live. So after that, the painter clapped his hand, and the entrance of the cave opened. It means this is a kind of magic realism, in which our painter has just clapped his hand and the door was opened. The painter remarked that the cave was very splendid from inside. The painter says that I can see the cave is very splendid, very beautiful, and very mysterious. He offered to show the way to his majesty. It means he was just offered that to that particular emperor to come with him. So, but that particular emperor was not able to understand what kind of thing he was. You can say imagine at the time while he was watching the landscape. But because of non, you can say, painter quality of emperor will remain outside of the landscape, but our painter has just moved inside it. So the painter entered the cave, but the entrance closed behind him. So our painter Wu Daozi has entered the cave, but the entrance closed behind him. So here in this story, we just refers to find out that after the emperor was astonished, he was so surprised where the Wu Daozi has went away. So before he could move or speak a word, the painting had vanished from the wall. Yes, this is also a kind of legend from the Asian authorities, or you can say Asia. So after that, we come to know that the painting had vanished from the wall, and not a sign of Wu Daoji's brush was left, not even the signature. So the art was never seen again. This was his last painting. So here is the first story we refers to, right? So here we come to know that a particular person who is you can say painter by his profession, or you can say an artist. So a particular artist can see the inner side of anything, but the normal human being will see only the outer appearance, and he will admire only the outer area. But inside, or the imagination while painting that particular landscape was just only belong to that particular painter. So here our Nathaniel Travero just refers to that the West, you can say Asian paintings were just like full of imagination, and a normal human being cannot even refer it as it mean to be the painter, because a particular man or the normal human being will only see the outer areas. So this is all about our Wu Daozi story, in which we found out that the art, you can say art of Asian area was just so mysterious and so imaginationful, um, and that they cannot even understand on the outer look. So we have to find out the way to look inside that particular landscape, and then we can find the real we can say real face of that particular landscape. As the Wu Daozi has just entered the cave, which is not considered to be the possible nowadays, but it is but this is a story, and it is all about a thing, because it wants to tell us that a particular painter can also look inside your painting. So after that, there is a second story here, that is thing. One is that if I'll talk about, there is a apprentice named the, you can say, if I'll talk about here, right. So we have already been you can say read the stories from China, and Flanders illustrate what each part of trying to achieve. So here we are just going to consider that in Europe or the Western aim is perfect illusionistic, like it means our Nathalie Trovarot is considered that in Europe the aim is perfect illusionistic like. It means the particular painting will be like or will mean to the same to the particular person of a normal background and as well as from the uh, for to that particular painter. So he appreciate outer appearance in the you can say China, but the artist reveals to him the true meaning of his work, right? So this is the first one. So here we come to know another thing, that the story which means to be the thing. So here we come to know that there was a person who just fell in love with the painter's daughter, and he just you can say whose name was Quentin. Quentin was just in love with the painter's daughter, but the painter was not ready for their marriage because he was just a blacksmith. But one day there was a kind of incident that happened. He just came to her home. Quentin just came to her home, and he just asked for the apprentice, and the particular painter has just took Quentin as his apprentice. Then you can say after that we come to know that before all this incident we come to know how it could be possible that a painter from a aristocratic family will give a chance to the blacksmith, and he will give the hand of his daughter to the particular blacksmith. How it is possible? This is all about a story related to the painting, as we come to know that Quentin was not a famous painter. He was a blacksmith, but he was just came one day at the you can say home of that particular lady, that is the daughter of painter, and there was a canvas, and he just draw a picture or the portrait of a fly. Okay, now the portrait was so real in you can say it seems to be so real that no one can deny it's as a fake. So our famous painter has arrived to that canvas, and he had just tried to flee away that fly, but it could not be possible to flee away a false fly, or you can say that painted fly. So he has just thought that who has just made this fly, this is so fantastic. So here he found that Quentin was a particular person, and who is just able to make a such a kind of poetry, because poetry will never refers to the kind of casteism, and no even it will refers to the thing which will be like the upper or lower class. So this is the all equal qualities will be refers by the god to the persons. So he just took the Quentin as the apprentice, and then Quentin married his beloved, because the painter was so happy with the Quentin's realistic painting, that is fly. He went to on to become one of the most famous painter of his age. So Quentin became the one of the most famous painter of his age. So here we can find out another story about the things about the Chinese story. Once upon a time, there was a painter who had just drawn a dragon, but he would not draw the eye of that dragon he painted. He fears that it would fly out of the painting. So if he will make the eyes of the particular dragon, then dragon will be flew out. So after that, such story played an important part in China's traditional education. The books of Confucius and the Zhuangzi are full of them. So what are the two books which are full of that traditional folklores? That is Confucius and the Zhuangzi. So we have just got the two big stories, but another one is small stories. So these are the kind of things which is related to the painting, and landscape of soul is all about the lesson in which we can find the difference between the Western painting skills as well as the Asian painting skills. So here we come to know one thing, as we have just here, We have just read about the two stories from China, in which we just feel out that one person, Wu Daozi, has just entered into the cave, and another one is that will not make the eye of dragon. Why? Because they can see the inside inner view of that particular painting, but our sequenters has make a fly, and that particular painter who was the father of that of his beloved, or just went there and see that there is a fly. It means that Western paintings or just seems to be that on that particular point as just been seen by the painter himself. It means there is nothing to do with both of these. So we have two things that China or the Chinese Asian paintings reveals the uh, outer part to the normal human beings, but Western seems to be the both sides same. It will appear same as to the painter as well as to the normal human beings. After that, we come to know that here used together they represent the. So here we come to know that landscape of the soul. If I'll say, it will do. Sorry, here. So here we come to know that these we have get the difference between two. So here this adds a dimension of time. It also requires the active participation of the viewer, a, a participation which is physical as well as mental. The European painters wants to view to borrow his eyes. The Chinese painter does not want him to do so. He wants the viewer to enter his mind. So the landscape is an inner one, a spiritual and conceptual space, and this concept is expressed as san shui, which literally means the mountain water, right? If we just join them together, and then we will find out one thing, that is landscape. So mountain water, and here the mountain is yang while the water is yin. So the interaction of yin and yang is a fundamental notion of Taoism, that you can say that particular notion of Tao which has just entered into the cave. There is a third essential element also, the middle void, where their interaction takes place. It means between the mind and soul of that landscape, mind of the particular person and soul of that landscape, there is a when they will connect, there is a kind of void or the blank space for the interaction. This can be compared with the yogic practice of pranayam, breathe in, retain and breathe out. So the suspension of breath is the void where meditation occurs. So the middle void is essential. So meditation is the key point when you can enter in everything which is related to the eternal. So here we can say one more thing, nothing can happen without it. It means we cannot painted unpainted space. In unpainted space is very important in the Chinese landscape. Man finds the fundamental roles in the space between the heaven and the earth. So he becomes the medium of communication, both poles of the universe, and his presence is essential, and he is the eyes of landscape. So here we refer some of the another creators. So here we will found the work of 80-year-old Nek Chand in India's biggest contribution to the outsider's art, and he has made a garden sculpted with the stone and recycle, yes, which is known as Rock Garden in Chandigarh. So here his art has been recognized, an outstanding testimony of the difference a single man can make when he lives his dream. So here the outsider art will refers, or it has been considered by a particular person. It I will tell you here. Here, that is the French painter Dephibet first created the concept of art brut or the raw art, right? In the 1940s, then the art of untrained visionary was at a minority interest. The outsider art has gradually become the fastest growing area of interest in international modern art. It means art brut, you can say this kind of art brut. So these are the paintings from the art brut in which you are free but to make such kind of features of a person, different kinds of things, because these are not the regular features of a person. So these are the raw arts, right? It means the kachi kala, so in which you are paying only to your mind and soul, not to the visionary for the other person. So we have find many of the example in this very lesson, and we also find out one thing that our you can say author Nathalie Troveroy has a keen observation of the landscapes and the paintings as well as the painters, and she has just come to know about the real characteristics of western as well as the Asian paintings. We can refer one more thing here, that she is always, you can say, find herself involved in the architectural program, and she can also write over the architecture story. So she has just given so many references to the person as well their lives, like Nesh Chand, that French painter, Wu Daoji, Quintus, and the particular painter who had just you can say may paint a dragonfly, but he could not even make the eye of particular person. So this is all about your lesson. I hope that this has been clear to you. Please note down that you have to write down many of the questions, question and answer, which I just consider to be an extra, and long question answer should also be there in your notebook. We will find a difficult word meaning throughout the text. So take a reading of the text because it is very important, and it is also important and related to your board exam. Thank you. We will meet in the next video.